Go on. Go on. Go on the line.
Are we recording?
Enter the line.
We're recording. We're
online?
more than likely online.
Tweet.
I will.
Catch a tweet. We rolling.
But
One more time. Nope. I got it before it happened that time.
Pop out the chat. We have 610 subscribers on the YouTubes.
What?
Yeah.
How'd that happen?
that's crazy.
I don't know.
What happened?
But I'm going to come out of the gate with a recommendation for anyone who is watching this video and likes our content. And that is, if you are subscribed, look at the bell next to the subscribe button and hit that motherfucker.
What happens when I hit that?
They will
bell?
get notified when we go live.
Oh,
They'll also get notified when a video is uploaded to the channel. So that will help you stay abreast of the BMFcast situation.
Ooh.
If you are prone to missing them,
I like
or
breasts.
if you just want to make sure that you're there right at the very beginning, you will get a hot-ass notification.
Hot ass.
Ring that motherfucking bell. You can also do it for youtube.com/noquartersnet, and you'll be notified when that shit goes live.
if it ever does.
If it ever does.
Wah, wah, wah.
Yeah. I would also like to take this opportunity to apologize for not live streaming Monday. I misplaced my fucks on Monday,
Oh,
so
did you find him?
no.
Okay.
I still have not found them.
Well, it's time for a new poll, isn't it?
Yeah, it was time for a new poll a week and a half ago.
Oh, your fucks were gone then too.
Yes.
Okay.
Actually, I just kind of forgotten.
All right.
Got busy. I was.
Oh, it's
taking a
not
couple
fair.
days off.
This week had 2 Mondays.
Yeah.
Yes.
It's been a busy week.
So I am live streaming tonight. So
After this,
no, right now. This is
this
this is all
counts?
you get.
this is the week's live stream.
Yeah.
Yeah, soak it up.
That's what you get.
This is
Are
all
we
you get.
simulcasting on No Quarters Net?
No,
We should be.
no, I don't want to ruin the upload speed.
Oh,
I don't want to drag
we
them
could
D's down.
mirror it.
Mirror.
You can mirror it.
Mirror.
Maybe if one of our listeners could then take the live stream and then re-upload it.
Yeah,
No?
and then get more hits than our original live stream.
Yeah.
That's the kind of shit I love.
Yeah,
on
because
YouTube.
they'll just make a thumbnail that has boobs on it.
Right.
Yep.
Make sure to not put it on our channel so nobody sees it.
No, no one will see it.
We'll just cut it down to like I'll be generous and say the 3 minutes of good content, and then I'll get all the hits.
I don't know.
Yeah.
3 minutes.
Come on, Chuck, you can go 3 minutes.
No, he can't.
Ask me how I know. Come on. Why haven't you asked me?
I will not.
Oh. Well, fine then.
I should retweet the tweet I wrote. Forgot, but here it goes.
I forgot, but here it goes.
BMFcast.
BMFcast.
Tweet.
Big BMFcast.
Boom. Boomcast.
Boom.
Steve, you should bring some friends.
Yeah.
Eshistev.
If anyone else is out there, hi. We're live now. See? Just have to talk. People appear.
Boom shakalaka. Here comes the flavor. I'm trying to get hyped. It's
What?
not working the whole.
Why not? Get hyped, bro.
I'm trying. I'm trying.
Dude, get hype.
Yeah.
Listen, I'm a tired man.
Listen.
Listen here. Well, listen. I'm a tired man.
Hard man.
I'm kind of tired.
Yeah.
Jean-Claude Van Damme, you. I always sound like I'm yawning.
Yeah.
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 Patrick Yarnburton. Ah. That's terrible.
Why would you put that in your mouth, Dean? Come for the hot impressions. Stay for the slightly worse impressions.
Yeah.
I'd come for your impressions, if you know what I mean.
Kids are coming for the impressions these days.
Kids are playing the eyeball game, looking for impressions.
Here they are. Finally, a week later, the Ice-T impressions are here.
Well, they were there
There,
somewhat.
There were some hot impressions.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. All right, get on it. Join us, individuals. The people who aren't here can't hear me.
Yeah, guys, get on it. Why are you not in here?
Yeah.
Fucking get in here.
Get in my chat. Get up on it.
We just lost one.
What? Oh.
Come back.
Come take a ride.
Get you rolling.
What? No.
I've already got one thumbs up, though.
Cool.
I'm going to click it.
That was not me.
Now we get two.
Chunk.
Now we have three.
Seriously, we need
Good chunk.
new mic
Now we
arms.
have four.
Need new mic arms. These are just getting wobbly. Got wobbly stand
They
edition.
might just need to be tightened.
I've tried to tighten this fucking thing.
Yeah,
Maybe
but
they
you
need
tried
some-
tightening it like
What I really need is like two,
you don't understand tools.
two things that like are the same size.
Perhaps 2 wrenches?
wrenches?
Yeah, that's what they call those things.
Huh.
Huh.
Bring me my mead wrenches.
Mead.
Yeah.
You call it corn.
I do not.
Fucking idiot.
Philly, there's no basement in the Alamo. Say it with me now. Tortilla.
Maybe people really like Mackie now, and they show up for Mackie.
That's true, yeah.
I've ceased becoming the favorite.
Cast.
It's
Oh,
like,
Mackie.
no, Mackie, we cry. Dum, 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 dum.
Yeah.
Yeah, just fucking just go for that shit, man. It's fucking Spider-Man 3 it up in here.
Yeah.
That's
That's how you wake up.
It is how you wake up. It's not how I wake up.
Oh. What did the 5 figures say to the face chop?
I don't know.
Slap.
Whoops.
Trying to get blood sport pumped.
Oh, that's what we need. Hold on. Hold on. I don't care if we get flagged. Hold on.
We're going to play the music from Bloodsport?
No. I know what he's doing.
Yeah, oh, no, it's not. I said the wrong number. Yeah, there we go.
Crank it up, fucker.
No, I'm making sure it's not too loud. Oh. It's just the best.
It is pretty good.
Is that
It's
from like the...
3 inches of blood sport.
Ah.
The YTMND.
Yes.
If you have as much to do for you, you should on repeat for hours.
Oh, yes.
All right, well, I guess we're not going to get any more pumped than we already are.
It's working.
Huh?
It's pumping.
Do you need some alcohol in your tea?
No.
You need like a tea
Put
alcohol?
some whiskey in your tea.
Kids are putting whiskey in the ass tea.
Calling it.
Calling it me.
And I fucking like it.
I'm going to put whiskey in me. Drink it. I'm iced tea.
That's the final level. Putting whiskey in your ass tea.
Your ass tea.
Missed it. Missed the iced tea if you... Iced tea.
It's tea if you're nasty.
T stands for thirsty.
Because if you're nasty, then get with iced tea and have a nesty
T
in my
stands
nest
for-
tea.
What was it that T stood for last week?
It became the episode title, so
Thrifty?
you should
No,
know.
Trustworthy.
Trustworthy.
Ice trustworthy.
Ice trustworthy.
Yeah, it's thrifty percent. Nice, trustworthy.
I just want to know what y'all doing here. That's all. Then you can go.
I just want to talk this out.
Should I tag him in our tweet again?
Take
No.
my word for it. I ain't gonna kill you unless I have to.
You should at James Remar or
Yeah, I should totally at James Remar.
no, don't do that.
What about is JCVD on?
He is.
Yeah,
Zitwitdale?
there you go.
Is he on Belgian
his,
Twitter?
His person is. I
Yeah.
don't think he is.
Oh, his Pressels from Brussels.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Correct.
That's it.
Pressels. Christ. Aw,
what?
James
Is
Remar
Ice-T-
hasn't tweeted.
What?
Ever?
He should tweet.
Is Ice-T West Coast or East Coast? I am out of practice at remembering which coast.
He's West Coast.
West Coast?
Yeah,
Yeah. He's from California.
yeah. I had to think about that for a second. Oh shit! I don't know.
He's West Coast.
Well, is he? Because I mean, he was showing up in a lot of shit with
Don't
like
ask
Run
Chuck.
DMC and whatnot, which are East Coast. And
He's West Coast.
I think so. I think he's West Coast, but now I'm not entirely sure. 'Cause I'm thinking like he was in like Crush Groove and shit, and that was a whole bunch of East Coast people. I think he was in Crush Groove.
Dear Internet,
Fuck, I don't know.
is Ice-T
Where that's T from?
East
Long Island, New York.
Coast or
That's pretty East Coast.
Long
West
Island Ice
Coast?
is his name.
Just where he born doesn't mean where he is.
Where he's repping? Yeah, I know.
Where he repping.
I know how this works.
I don't know what Personality Cafe is, but it does. It seems to have an opinion.
Oh,
Oh, it is like a forum. For me, I find it irky when someone says he's West.
Irky.
Yes, he moved to the West, but his style is distinctly East. He was born and spent most of his preteen childhood in New Jersey.
Hey, this is my podcast.
His family is Creole from Louisiana, another part that is more foreign than anything than Southern. His lyricism is arrogant in style, talking about how he can beat someone up rather than about the realities of life in the streets, which is more West Coast lyricism. He does talk about race and racial consciousness, again a signature of East Coast style. He's played so many New York characters, the most famous one being Scotty Appleton in New Jack City. Almost the Rhyme Syndicate, which he produces hip-hop with, are all New Yorkers.
yes, thank you.
I am pedantic white guy talking about rap, and this is my podcast. I would like to say that the hologram of Tupac Shakur is an insult to rap and rapists everywhere. The proper terminology is a rapist.
I don't think it is.
Actually,
It's totally not. Nope.
see, saying the word rapper is a racist. I'm not sure if you were aware of that. Actually, I know that you weren't. Thank you, and this has been my podcast.
Well, unsubscribe.
Yeah. Let me remove that from my
right.
RSS feed.
Are you ready to do this? I don't think
Yeah.
we're getting any more pumped up than this.
Yeah!
This is the height of pump. Come to that door. Okay. Oh, ha! Arsonist has oddly shaped feet.
The Human Torch was denied a bank loan.
All right. All right, and welcome to the BMFcast.
Hey!
BMFcast!
BMFcast!
Episode 383.
All right.
Palindrome.
That's a palindrome.
So I'm Harlow.
You're not Mackie. Don't start this shit.
Aw.
Mackie is absent this week due to something. I'm BJ.
I'm Chuck.
And what we do each and every episode of the BMFcast is we go and we watch ourselves a quote-unquote bad movie. come in here and talk about it for the first half. Then we rate them. Good, bad movies, enjoyable bad movies. You get 1 to 5 jocks and robot jocks.
Dogs is the movie we like.
However, there are bad movies. As in Stay Away, they get a negative sliding scale. 1 to 5 bags, as in douchebags after bags of douche, formerly of Twilight.
Gross.
Yeah.
Nay, Twilight.
Splat.
Nay. Look at you, Lord Fance.
So, we're continuing Freedom Month, doing whatever we feel like
Freedom
doing.
Summer. It's
Freedom Summer.
this is month 3
Summer.
of Freedom.
We'll
we
watch a film.
We decided to get some more BMFcast alums into a movie, and that is 1996's The Quest.
And add more BMFcast alums to the pantheon.
Sure, as we are wont to do.
Yeah, I think really this was a way of saying goodbye to Roger Moore.
Sure.
We were going to do it a while back, but we were kind of locked into some movie choices we had. But there aren't a lot of Roger Moore movies we could do.
Yeah, and we've done one of them.
Yeah,
This
so this
Spice
was the
World,
other
so,
one,
yeah.
really.
So let's get a plot summary for The Quest out of the way and talk more about it.
Mm-hmm.
Gang Ging, the ancient winner-take-all competition in which the deadliest fighters from around the world employ the most spectacular feats of martial arts skills ever displayed in order to win the prize Golden Dragon. But fighting prowess alone will not be enough for Chris to triumph over such daunting foes.
I think it might be.
Well, I think it's
Spoiler alert.
I think it's a little fighting prowess along with some heart and some orphan vision.
Orphan Vision?
Orphan vision.
Orphan Vision.
Some Orson vision.
Orphan vision.
Uh-huh.
Some Orson Welles vision.
Yes.
Or say that one time fast.
Orson Welles Orphan vision.
Wow.
It's a judicial system. Your Honor.
Yeah. So hey, who here has seen Bloodsport?
Me, I've seen Bloodsport.
I've seen
Yeah?
Bloodsport.
Yeah.
I've seen it several times plus one
Sure.
now.
Yeah.
Because this is Jean-Claude had made some bucks and said, you know what, that Bloodsport, that movie that I was first in, basically the first starring role, I think I could do that better.
Okay.
And what if it's like Frank Ducks part Ducks?
Frank part ducks.
Yeah, Frank part Ducks.
Uh-huh.
But kind of like set even further back in time for
Yes.
whatever reason.
So they could get jaunty 1920s outfits, and
So they can make it an adventure.
JCVD really wanted to wear that newsboy cap.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's it's not exactly Bloodsport until it is. Basically, I mean, because the rapper that's on this movie is that
Is that Ice-T?
it's not Ice-T, no.
Damn it. Fight me, Frank Duck.
It's kind of so unimportant it doesn't bear talking too much about, really. If that makes any sense, because
He's old.
yeah, he walks into a bar. Jean-Claude walks into a bar.
It's one part Princess Bride, sort of, and one part Bloodsport.
Yeah,
Well, it's like an eighth of a part Princess Bride and an eighth of a part like Chitty Chitty Bang Bang, and then
shitty punch punch.
yes,
Yeah.
and then 6/8 Bloodsport.
That's a strange measurement. But put them together, if one of you've got bippity boppity dot Jean-Claude Van Damme.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, but yes, old man Jean-Claude Van Damme walks into a bar. Bartender's like going to serve him some drinks, and the Rainbow Coalition of gangs walks in.
Yep.
And
Very
being,
angry.
I mean, just saying, there's a motorcycle guy, there's like a traditional like Harlem Hood, there's like a pimp looking dude. It's just like it's weird.
All three representatives from the gangs of New York.
Yes,
Yes.
yes, they did. They sent their leaders. But he just kind of has to stand up and be like, "I may be old, but I'll still kick your ass," and he does.
Yes.
But then it's like, "Let me tell you a tale of back in the Roaring '20s in New York City when I was like clown leader of the orphans.
Yes.
I'm the
When I
clown
was
prince
a-
of orphans."
Stilt walking, club juggling,
Yeah.
clown faced orphan leader.
Yeah, prison tat. He killed 2 men in prison in that
He had
clown outfit.
tears under his
Yeah.
eyes.
Yeah, he did. Black tears though. And yeah, he's just kind of always at odds with the law, always at odds with this, I suppose, gangster dude. But it really kind of doesn't matter. It's just like, we need like 20 minutes to pad this movie out. How would you like to do like?
Well, he's king of the street urchins.
But it means nothing
It
later on in the
shows
movie.
that he's athletic and he's a fighter and he's a scrappy sort of guy.
Yeah.
And he also has a reason to try to get back because he gets run off by the cops. Well,
He causes a giant
Causes
commotion in the city bazaar with his shenanigans to where one of the urchins is able to sneak into the mob house and steal a bag of money. So they have the bag of money, and they're like, sweet, we're rich, we're going to live like kings. And then immediately the mob shows up and is like, give us back our money. And during the ensuing chaos, they try to shoot Jean-Claude Van Damme, end up shooting a kid, and then the cops break in. And everyone's chasing Van Damme, and Van Damme's like, next oldest kid, you're in charge of all the other kids now. I have to go.
I'll be back.
I guess he was supposed to still be a kid, or that's what we were supposed to buy, is that he was
young. He was supposed to be young. Because
I don't think he was supposed to be a kid.
Well, the way Roger Moore addresses him throughout the movie of kid, but...
Yeah. Anyway, suspend your disbelief, but yeah, he's king prince of the orphans, and...
Yes, but there's a chase sequence through, rafters and stuff like that, and eventually he lands on a boat.
Yeah, it's all very Shanghai Nights. Like, hey, here's, kung fu in a weird setting in, like, the 20s, and the big brawl, or not the big brawl. Is that the Jackie Chan one?
Yeah.
Yeah.
The large brawl.
Yeah. Well, I always get that in the Big Boss confused, which is Bruce Lee movie, so...
Yes.
But yes. Anyway,
ends up on a slow boat to China.
He's on a giant thing of cargo that he falls off of and lands in the cargo hold of this boat, to which sails halfway around the world before he ever wakes up. And while he's asleep, he has dream flashback of being abandoned in a park because his mother was not coming back, and the lady who was telling him by reading this letter that his mother was not coming back crumples up the letter and throws it on the ground, and she just stay here, I'll be back, and then she never comes back.
She runs away.
So he grew up just sitting on this bench in the park for his entire life.
Right.
But he wakes up on the boat, crawls out of the cargo hold hey guys, what's going on? And just immediately pirates are like, yar, you work for us now.
I'm really surprised that they didn't bring that piece of paper back, because she crumples up the piece of paper and they
seemed like
slow-mo throw it to the ground.
Yeah.
And it goes kiss, kiss.
Yes. It means nothing.
And he looks at it and he's like, well, I can't fucking read anyway.
Yeah. Yeah. But pirates are just like, yar, we own you, and you're a piss boy now, so clean out our latrines. And he's just working on the boat forever.
Yeah.
Until all of a sudden, fucking other pirates show up.
Buccaneers, or privateers, I guess privateers.
Yeah.
Technically, sort of. Maybe.
They're kind of just smugglers. I mean, they
They
look like they have sacks of grain, and but they still also kind of like...
I meant the
Roger Moore side?
The Roger Moore
no,
side.
this first side is
they're full on privateers.
Yeah.
They're pirates.
Yes,
fancy pirates, but still.
He calls
pirates.
himself a privateer,
Sure,
or he calls himself the last of the Buccaneers,
something like that.
Sure.
Yeah.
I think he was trying to imply that he was doing this under contract of the king, which is probably a lie, because
it's totally a lie.
Almost literally everything that Roger Moore says about himself is a lie.
Yeah, but this, I dare say this is almost the best sequence of the movie, the ship battle stuff, because it's stunt spectacular and
it's pretty good. It's not the best fighting of the movie.
No, but I mean, it's overall adventure-y action.
Yes,
adventure
this is our adventure violence that is promised by the MPAA rating.
Right.
Man, I forget when they started that, but I'm so happy whoever came up with the reason for ratings.
Oh, I love them now.
They're the best.
Yeah.
Just whenever I see a trailer, that's the only thing I care about.
I watched something the other night that was rated PG for peril. I was like, ooh,
yeah.
peril. But so it's Sir Roger Moore fucking admiraled up and just shooting his gun and firing cannons at this boat.
He's kind of like shabby admiral. He's
he's been at sea. He's got scurvy all over his face.
Well, I mean, he's scruffy. And he's basically just wearing a white linen suit, or a white pants and stuff with epaulets and a captain's jacket, and it doesn't look real official. It looks like he kind of bought it off the rack at Banana Republic.
Yeah, it's like, hey, pretend you're a pirate,
right? Pretend you're
a royal
legitimate.
Yeah, but it
well, it was easy for them to do. The British had a lot of Banana Republics back then.
Exactly.
Yes, that's true. So Roger Moore's character throughout this kind of changes tone. This is the most ruthless Roger Moore. He's kind of badass at the beginning of this. He's leader of this pirate gang, and they are just decimating this boat. And Van Damme was below deck again because the captain was like, well, we're almost to our destination. Have to murder your ass now because clearly you're no good to us at all, even though you're super strong and do whatever we ask you to do.
And also, we never even really asked you why you're here. Or
No,
anything.
no, it's just you're a slave. And
Really gonna be. I have no idea how I got here. Just let me work for you, and I'll
Yeah.
get off at the next port. You know?
Yeah,
Problem solved.
or sell him. I mean, that's the sort of the thing.
But so like when the attack happens, like he kills that guy and then pops out of the cargo hold, and someone's about to kill Roger Moore, and he shoots that guy, and Roger Moore's like, "Hey, who's he? He's saved
handsome.
me. Look at him. He has muscles and stuff." And then someone's going to kill Van Damme, and Roger Moore returns the favor, and he's like, "Well, I guess that makes us even," and then draws on him and shoots the chains, and now he's free. And he's like,
So he hangs out on his boat for a while, and he's basically like, "Yeah, he's like, what is it that you want?" He's like, "I just want to get back to America." And he's like, "Oh,
I
well,
want to live
you
in
might be in
"Good
luck.
luck. We're going to this cool
Yeah,
island.
We're going to Muay Thai Island.
Uh-huh.
We're literally going to like martial arts island."
Kung Fu Island.
Yeah.
You'll love it there." Yeah, so they roll up on this island and all go ashore and are greeted by the natives. They're all just like, "Hooray, you're here. Empty your crates and bring them to us." And
Yeah, and Roger Moore basically kind of outside of earshot of Van Damme is basically like, "Hey, this guy's a really good fighter. Trust me, I've seen him. You know, why don't you take him off my hands?"
yeah, you should totally enjoy his company and train him to do things. And something that happened during the New York sequence earlier is that so the head of this tournament that's going to be happening has dispatched all of the the monks across the world with scrolls to deliver to the best fighters of the world. So we've seen like a fencing guy get it, which is really stupid because you never see that guy again.
Is that no? That's the Spanish guy, right?
Is it?
Spaniard
Yeah, I think
dude.
it's the
okay.
That's why he was fighting like sort of like fencing.
All right. Delivers one to James Remar, who is the heavyweight boxing champion of New York or whatever. And he's just like, "Well, I'm going to a foreign place."
I think you mean the heavyweight champion of the world.
Yeah,
Be
so
real careful when you do that.
yeah, there's been a bunch
Bruce
of that.
Buffer or Michael Buffer is waiting around the corner.
Not that at all. I'm going like old school when they used to say champion.
Oh,
Yes.
champion. Okay,
I'm
well,
just
that's-
warning you though.
Yeah.
He'll show up
Okay.
and serve you with $1 million lawsuit.
Well,
It'd almost be worth it just to see him show up.
yeah.
Oh, hey,
It's real intimidating.
that's true. Yeah. But anyway, so like these monks are just spanning the globe, handing out scrolls to people. So they're on the island, and Roger Moore basically is just like, "Well, see ya," and they leave. And he's told Jean-Claude Van Damme, like, "There'll be a boat in 2 weeks. You'll go to America."
That's
Goddamn geographical odyssey. 2 weeks from everywhere.
not really happening.
That does not happen because suddenly it cuts to like 6 months later. And
I mean, well, that's no, you're right. 6 months later, period. Because they kind of show him like basically doing the same thing he was on the boat, but now he's on land, like just carting sacks of grain around.
yeah,
and,
he's now a slave on land.
and people are basically just randomly attacking him, and the guy in charge is like, "Yeah, you pretty much need to always be on your guard." And
He sees like one guy getting beaten up by three other guys
like towards the end of his stay
Yeah.
here or whatever. You know.
for not being good enough at kicking, and he goes over and is like, "Hey, knock it off."
He runs up behind him and just kicks the shit out of him.
Yeah.
He's like, that was bad. Also, always be prepared. Please don't beat me up in retribution for this.
Yes, and they don't.
They're like, oh, good point, Whitey.
Yeah. But then out of the sea comes one of the monks who- with a scroll. And this is going to there's a guy on this island that the main guy of the island is really into, like totally into this guy. This is my champion.
He's
so,
their best fighter.
Yeah, so he gets the scroll.
Still not sure how the guy is representing Siam from Muay Thai Island, but whatever.
It takes all kinds.
Okay.
Yeah.
I mean, I guess they were all just visitors to, Karate Island, but
And then at some point we're
Well, wait a minute. Siam is Thailand.
is it?
Yes.
Is it part of them?
Siam is what Thailand used to be called.
Okay.
And Thailand is an island anyway, so
Oh, Thailand.
Thailand, yes.
great.
Get a My Thailand.
It's been embarrassing geography with the
My Thailand.
I didn't know that. I didn't know Siam.
Get a
was
My
pretty-
Thailand
or-
in Muay Thai Island.
I didn't know that like Istanbul was
Constantinople, yeah.
Everyone get out.
Why did Constantinople get the works? Nobody's
Nobody's
business but these jerks.
Same fucking thing. Yep. Anywho,
But then we're in Bangkok.
yeah.
And Sir Roger Moore and his buddy Jack McGee who was in a bunch of BMFcast things.
Also, what else do I know him from? Like,
he was on Rescue Me Forever. He was in Backdraft. It's like every time you see a firefighting movie, he's like the lieutenant.
Lieutenant. Okay, yeah.
He's just
All right.
like that guy. He's always
because I know
chomping on
I've
a
seen him
cigar.
in a million.
He has like 200 credits. It's insane. But anyway, so they're just chilling in this restaurant, and Roger Moore sees a lady, and he's just like, "Ooh, lady! My previous character really liked the ladies. Let me woo this lady." So they invite this lady over, and this is the movie's most insignificant character that keeps getting lines of dialogue, but she's just like, "I'm a reporter," and he's
Which
like,
they're both kind of like, uh-oh.
"Yeah."
Zoinks.
And it's just, I'm a reporter and I'm here to do things, and then
My
she's
daddy
like,
owns the newspaper.
yeah, and she's like, I want to see the fights, and Roger Moore's like, that's for the commoners, that's not for you, but okay, let's go to the fights. And then they just put on their most regal ass outfits. like his pimped out tuxedo is fucking awesome
with a fucking like Victoria Cross on it or something.
He goes fucking Pirates of Penzance on that shit. And
yeah. So they go to the fights, and lo and behold, Van Damme is there. And Roger Moore is just like, ah, fuck.
But he does a really good job of playing off the aw fuck into, well, my friend, how are you?
Yeah,
it's
he does.
Good to see you.
His initial reaction is just like, oh man, that guy we fucked over is here. But yeah, then it's just, Van Damme sees them and is just like, hey, obviously I'm still here. And Roger Moore's like, yeah, well, about that. Listen, why don't we go on an adventure together? And he's like, I'll buy you from the guy, and then we'll go. And he's like, yeah, okay, sweet, let's do that. And then they just go. They don't pay that guy. So
basically, yeah.
Yeah. So it's, adventure time. It's over the hills of snow. I mean, it's let's get on wacky animals and elephants and horses and traverse the jungle and all these places. Yeah, they've met up with James Remar, and they're like, "Hey, this guy has the map. We can't get there without the map.
Right.
So let's bring him along."
This is the most convoluted. Like,
Did they even meet up with Remar, or did they just?
They
I think
bump
they
into
just
him.
bump into
No,
him. And they're like,
no. She got a, not a telegraph, but she got something over the wire. Yeah, she got something
that's
over the
right,
wire.
yeah.
a little
Found out that the
teletype.
great Maxine Devine was Maxie Devine was going to be over.
Maxine. Yeah. Yeah,
Right,
but
yeah.
she's like, yeah, I've got your golden ticket. So they bump into him, but
Right.
they do it on purpose. And then it's just like, so we'd be happy to escort you to...
They basically they take out his escort.
Yeah.
And et cetera, et cetera.
Yeah. So they just go under the pretense that, Van Damme is a lackey who's going to be carrying bags. And
Yep. And then it's like traveling montage without the benefit of traveling by map, because we have to watch them on. Well, first they're in jeeps, they get stuck, and they're just like, "Fuck these jeeps, let's get on elephants." And then they're like, "Man, elephants are uncomfortable. Let's get on horses."
Yeah.
Which
I know.
you're just taking a step down in comfort every single time you go. Like, what's next? Donkeys, because they're even worse than horses.
But yeah, they get to the last place, and it's like, well, let's rest here for a while. Oh no, that guy is here from from Mutai Island. I kind of didn't pay him for you, Van Damme.
Right.
Oops. And then,
But then, luckily for them, the Mongolian walks in.
yes,
Like
as you do.
a second later. He's looking for barbecue.
Yeah,
And
he's,
to beat the shit out of someone.
well, he wants their table, and they're like, you can't have this table. So the Mongolian's like, fuck your table, and punches it to death.
Yeah.
Just
punches it in half.
yeah,
Nobody can use the table.
yeah.
now.
No one can.
Yeah.
And so nothing really happens from that. But
It just builds
well,
animosity.
Van Damme at one point does kind of rise up, and
Oh, that's right. Maxine Waters, or Maxie Devine.
Congresswoman.
Yeah, Congresswoman Maxine Waters gets up and tries to fight
yeah,
Mongolia.
all of them.
Well, no. First, James Remar gets up, and the Mongolian dude is just like, "Nope, punch," and then
right.
and then JCVD
That's
stands
what
up.
I was saying. Is
Yeah.
Maxine Waters gets up and
Yeah.
And then he's just like, "Oh, right, yes, sorry, I forgot that's you've said so many names now. I forgot that he actually is Maxie Devine."
Maxie Devine,
right?
which
okay.
is
Yeah, it's a stripper name.
it is.
Sorry. Yes.
Look, one letter change, it would have been perfect. Moxie Devine, like
No, that's a whore.
No.
That's an escort.
No, but you only think of that because of Borderlands. But like back in 1997, nobody thought that Moxie Divine was going to be.
I guess.
Moxie, kid's got Moxie. You know.
Well,
He never gives up.
yeah, but
He
anyway,
can go all 32 rounds.
he gets put down by the Mongolian pretty quick.
Right.
To which Jean-Claude gets up and is just like, "Hey, enough of this."
And they're just like, no.
Yeah, and this they go out. James Remar is like, "Hold on, you're not the bag boy. Outside with you," and it's just like, "You're up to something. I don't much care for this. We're gonna fight."
And he gets like two, classic.
Well, he's
Marquis
like,
of Queensberry
yeah,
punches
it's like,
it.
He
put up
puts
your
his
dukes.
fucking dukes up.
Yeah.
and yeah,
got
they
no dukes.
they stand off for a second and they trade blows really once.
Well, yeah, James Remar gets a couple really good hits on him,
Yeah.
and then Jean-Claude kicks the shit out of him.
Yeah, and then punches him.
and punches the crap out of him. He's like,
And then he's immediately like, "No more fight, no more." And Remar's like, "Yeah, you're probably right. We're not gonna fight anymore.
"You're gonna destroy me."
Yeah, I'm gonna get on my horse and leave. So, bye. You can keep the scroll."
Yeah, he's
whatever."
basically like, you're the champion now. This is what you wanted, right?
Yeah, he's just like, "You're better than me, so I'm just gonna ride off. I'll see you. Bye."
You wanted the scroll? Here's the scroll.
Yeah.
Motherfucker.
So
I was gonna beat up some foreigners for America. But you fucked it up.
they get to the Lost
Take it.
City, and it's just a rival of all the nations. The Nazis fly in on their Zeppelin.
They do. The proto-Nazis fly in on a tiny Zeppelin.
They do.
It's like, I don't know. It's the size of a Buick.
It's a little Jetson Zeppelin.
The balloon itself is the size of a Buick, and the gondola is the size of a Kia.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's just the
it's
cutest
cute, but it's real.
Or
I mean, it's a
maybe
practical
Volkswagen.
thing.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, could be. But yeah, everyone arrives, and it's it's tournament time. But before the tournament happens, like James Remar pops back in, like, "Hey guys, I just wanted to give you my belt."
They call his name. They call.
Oh yeah,
they
because
call
they're doing
everybody's
the roll call.
right.
Of, like,
They're calling
"Please
everybody's
introduce
name.
yourself. Stand up and say something about yourself."
Siam, Mongolia,
Yeah.
Japan. So we get introduced to all the fighters, and then last is Moxie Divine.
And
And
Jean-Claude says, "I am Moxie Divine."
I am Moxie Divine.
And then, of course, Remar's like,
Remar kicks the doors open. He's
"I
like,
am Moxie Divine."
"Look, motherfucker, I'm Moxie Divine.
Yeah.
This sumbitch right here is Chris Boudreaux.
The best American you will ever see.
What was his real last name?
Dubois.
Dubois.
Yeah.
This
But
motherfucker's Chris Dubois. He whipped the shit out of me. Now I'm gonna watch him whip the shit out of all you guys. I'm giving up
Yeah.
my spot, and he hands him his belt. Like
he is
kick my
now
ass.
the heavyweight champion of the world. He gets my spot. And the
kicked me
tournament
twice and
organizers
punched
are
him.
like, "Yeah, well, okay, fine. You can get we'll see what you can do."
If he lasts past the first round, you get to go free.
Yeah.
Otherwise,
You must
You
live
never-
your life in the Lost City.
you never leave the Lost City.
Yeah.
And James Remar's like, "Fuck yeah, this is gonna be fucking
No,
cool."
he kind of isn't. He's like, "Wait, what?"
I thought he was okay with it.
No.
Maybe I just made that up in my head. As
You
my
made
own-
it up in your
my
head.
own head canon.
Yeah, because he gets this looks like, "Wait, what? I didn't come back for that." And he's like, "You're going to win this, right?" And Van Damme's like, maybe." But then it's just, I mean, at this point, it's blood sport. Like, there's really the only rest of like the movie that's not fighting is that Roger Moore has decided that what they're going to do is
did we say what they're fighting for?
well that's what I'm going to get to because Roger Moore is like, "Look, the grand prize of this thing is a giant solid gold dragon, so we're just going to steal it." We're just going to hang out for a while, and then when they're not looking, we're going to steal this thing. So you're thinking it's going to be like this heist movie, which at one point it kind of turns into, but goes horribly wrong. But that's basically like the extent of the rest of anytime there's dialogue, it's we're going to steal the gold dragon. So whenever there's a break in the fighting, it just goes outside to them like hanging out like, why is this just outside with nobody guarding it? And
there's some long, wistful, like conflict looks between Frank Dux and some of the other fighters.
Chris Robodro.
Yes, Robotro.
Chris Robichaux.
Dubois. Dubois.
Fine.
what?
Dubois.
Do what?
Mercy buckets. It's Dubois.
It's pronounced bouquet.
Wow. That's a deep British cut.
Yeah, it is. I watch Keeping Up
Yeah,
Appearances.
apparently
Do
you do. Yes, I do, because I was the one who got that joke.
Saturday nights at 7 o'clock on PBS. That's where I'm at.
Pretty good.
All right.
Yeah, but so the rest of this is just fighting. It's tournament fighting.
Yeah.
And it's all the nations of the world that existed at the time.
This, I really like this, actually. I love this portion of the movie.
It's fine. It's
It
just
is-
the movie itself is over. It's just now
pretty
there will be
much.
fighting.
It's 2.5 minutes of 2.5 to 3 minutes of displays of
It's all
you know,
different styles.
It's capoeira versus Mongolian barbecue versus
There's the Scottish martial art of fuck you.
fuck
Yeah.
you. Yeah. Consists mostly of headbutts and knees to the groin. There's Japan, sumo wrestling from Japan.
Uh-huh.
There is
There's the best is the kung fu guy with the animal styles.
Yeah.
That
oh yeah.
James Remar's job for the rest of the movie becomes he's fighting like a tiger
Yeah.
now.
The first thing he says, he's like, or
He's like, it's some
somebody
sort of animal.
says
He's fighting like an animal.
Yeah.
No,
And
it's
Roger
more
Moore-
like a snake.
Roger
More
Moore
like-
says it's more like a snake, and
more
everyone's
like a snake.
yes, that's an animal.
And he's
Is
like,
it?
It's a tiger. He's fighting like a
They're
whippet.
pure evil chucks sent here by Satan.
Oh. Yeah.
Learn your science.
He's fighting like a weasel.
But so the thing I'll say about all this fighting, and it's actually true for the bulk of the movie too, is that so this is a movie that is starring, directed by, and kind of written by Jean-Claude Van Damme. He does not, in the final product of this movie, he is not so egocentric that he is in the forefront of all of this.
Right.
Like throughout most of the tournament
I
matches,
mean, he's in every second shot.
well,
but-
he's reacting to things, but
Yeah.
it is not like I'm going to fight all these motherfuckers. It is the entirety of the tournament. It's not chincing on the fight scenes,
And he's
Right.
also
just to
getting
get to the Van
He's getting his
Damme.
ass kicked a lot too.
Yes.
I mean it's not like mid-career Stallone where it was like I'm fucking awesome.
Yeah.
Nothing hurts me.
Yeah, no, he's not the best fighter.
Right.
He's not the best fighter. He just isn't. He's just got gumption or something.
Moxie.
Yeah, he does.
He's got
he
divine
does have
moxie.
But like even in scenes when he's working with Roger Moore, he's just standing back and letting Roger Moore carry the film. Like he's just in the background or listening to what he's saying. He's not in any way like I am the star of this movie. He's just kind of there. And in one way that's kind of cool, but in the other way you're like, there's not a lot of Van Damme in this. Because like the first round just goes forever. It is just like 87 nation states all
Right.
just doing their thing. And he's just hanging out, watching everyone, and then finally he gets his shot.
I am amused that the entire continent of Africa is represented as
Yeah.
Africa.
Yeah.
Like Siam, Thailand has its own country. Japan, Korea, China, Scotland,
Spain,
Spain,
Yep.
Brazil.
Brazil, yeah. The United States, Africa.
Africa.
Biggest continent on the planet, all represented by one dude.
Maybe that guy was just really, really good.
Could be.
Champion of Africa.
I have fought all of the other Africans.
Who also
Give me a
kind of
complimentary kumite.
he also kind of fights Capoeira. I mean, like
He fights a bouncy sort of style.
I
It's-
liked that the Spaniard, his style was a little bit capoeira.
it was like flamenco
was-
capoeira.
yeah.
yeah.
I'm just
it
saying,
was
like it was
weird.
like fencing meets flamenco meets a little bit of like here's a little bit of influence we may have had over capoeira, you know, in conquering South America.
Yeah.
Shit. You know, I mean, I know there's Portuguese, but don't.
Right.
Don't
I mean, I know it's
don't at me.
it's a silly dumb movie, but it is showcasing a lot of different martial arts and styles. It doesn't showcase them for a long period of time, but it's like I don't know, it's like a sample platter of all of the, you know,
It's like the UFC used to be back in 1994.
sure. Yeah, so it's all crazy matchups, and it's just like, oh, which crazy style is gonna win this one, and
Yeah,
just
right.
whittling down the list.
And it's here's all the styles, and you know, you the audience, if you haven't seen this, kind of get to place your bets on who you think's going to win because most of the fights could go either way. kind of thing.
For the most part, I mean, you kind of know who it's coming.
I mean,
down
you know
to,
the Mongolian dudes because he's had other scenes is going to win until the end because he's obviously your main antagonist. But
yeah, but it has a number of those dudes to where you're like, how are they going to get past that guy? Like, who's going to defeat the sumo guy? How's that going to happen?
Right.
Who's going to defeat just the ridiculously jacked dude? You know, it's a lot of that.
yeah,
Who's going to defeat the Scotsman?
yes.
How is he going to beat him?
Well,
by punching his nuts to
The
fucking
Scotsman
death.
gets his dick punched
He gets
to death.
the worst.
he had his caper tossed.
Yeah.
Mongolian dude just grabs him by the leg and just upper nuts him. Just
Yeah,
blasts him in the ball bag.
yeah, right in the blarneys.
Wrong country.
I know, close enough. Loch Ness monster ain't the only thing that's missing.
Yeah. Man.
You're saying he plays his bagpipes a little too rough?
My Scotland's all over the yard.
That's in England.
I know. Whatever. But the only like little bit of conflict is, I mean, there's lots of conflict, obviously, but I mean, the direct conflict is the guy from Siam gets basically Batman baned over the back of the Mongolian dude.
Yes, he does.
To which, like, I mean, he is full on like holding him up Bane style, like
Yep.
I must break you.
Yep.
And like Frank Dux is like, or I'm sorry, Dubois.
Chris Robichaux.
Chris Dubois, Jean-Claude Van Damme is basically like, no, stop the fight. And
Yeah.
of course it doesn't stop the fight.
No,
and,
why would it? There's no rules in this.
And so, yeah, he runs up and is like, he does this thing where he's like, goes over and checks on him and is like, nah, dude's dead.
Yeah, no.
And he like gets a little bit of his blood, walks over to the Mongolian dude, is like, here,
He also
Yeah.
takes his headband.
this is on you.
Yeah.
Well, it takes the,
It's very much the Rocky IV moment of the movie. It's just
Yeah.
like, my friend who I've known for a day, you've
Well, he
killed my
trained with that
Apollo.
guy.
Yeah, he did. Yeah.
But anyway, that's the only like, oh, this maybe means something kind of moment in the whole thing. Because the other one is like, oh, hey, no, that country's gone. Well,
Yeah.
oh, that guy got his dick punched off.
Yep. And now they all have to live in the Lost City. They're
Yep.
just sitting there sadly at ringside like, oh, I
Yeah,
have to
which
live here
eventually
now.
becomes like, oh, look, it's, Chris Christopherson in the background.
Yeah, there's one super furry face guy.
Just, I mean, that's the kind of like as much shits as you give about them by the end when they're just in the background. It's like, oh, look, Scottish dude. I guess
Yeah.
his dick didn't get punched off.
Or they just propped him up in a chair, gave him a bag of ice. Here you go, buddy.
A bagpipe of ice.
Yeah. Sorry about your bing bong.
Sorry about your stones, lad.
But so at first, the
Really hinged him in the stones.
the heist subplot is kind of moving along to where,
Yes, it is.
well, at first they're like, okay, here's the deal, Jean-Claude, you're gonna have to take a dive because we need you healthy to carry this thing because it's super
You're gonna
heavy.
throw the second round fight.
Yeah. So Van Damme is not into this, but goes into his fight, and he's fighting the guy from Spain, and the guy from Spain knocks him down, to which he's like, okay, well, I guess I'm staying down. James Remar is not having this. He's shouting "get up" over and over again until finally they slow it down, and it's just like, it's the most emotional, angry "get up" you've ever heard, and this makes Van Damme be like, yeah, I got to get back up. Fuck this shit.
Yeah,
For America.
Yeah.
There is a point in this movie where I quite audibly asked, what the fuck does Jean-Claude owe Roger Moore and other dude?
I don't
like,
know. Yeah.
nothing.
No,
They
he's-
sold him into slavery.
Yep.
They were even on the like life-saving aspect of everything.
And
But still, he's like,
the thing
"Ew."
was, they were going to pay for his way to get to this tournament.
Right.
In exchange, he would win the
Win.
tournament, and then they would all split the giant golden dragon.
Right. This golden dragon, by the way, we haven't given this golden dragon its fucking due. It's the size of a dinner table.
Yeah.
And it's like 3.5 feet
Yeah.
tall. Like
It's like a mall fountain.
no humans would ever be able to lift this.
No.
Like, there's also probably no structure that will support it. It's just
It's like
fucking
it's like the thing
ridiculous.
you see when you walk into like the really nice Chinese restaurant, like the sit-down one.
Only it's actual
except
gold,
Actual
yeah.
gold.
Yeah.
Well,
This is the
in
thing where
movie.
like they're like, oh sure, you may have as many gold dragons as you can carry out.
Yes. Right. Because they kind of say that. They're like, how come this thing isn't guarded? And they're like, well, who's
Nobody
going to
can-
run off with this thing?
But anyway,
Well,
But they do try,
Mm-hmm.
because at one point, suddenly Roger Moore is absconded with the German Zeppelin,
Mm-hmm.
and is just like, hey, tie the rope around this thing, let's just fucking do this, let's just get out of here.
you mean the alchemy Zeppelin?
Oh, you're right, yes, sorry.
Because it was going from lead to gold.
Yes.
he just He yoinked a fucking Zeppelin.
But yeah, he has his
How much
buddy.
of a fucking Roger Moore Bond move is that?
It's very octopusy of him. But so he has his buddy like tie this rope around the thing, and is just like, "All right, see you. I'll see you at the later rendezvous point. Bye."
Well, he drops him a rope ladder for like 3 seconds. He's like, oh, you didn't get it? All right, bye.
Yeah, I'll meet you at the thing.
Fucking scumbag.
Meanwhile, like the golden dragon trophy alarm goes off. And so all the golden dragon trophy guards run out with their crossbows and just shoot the Zeppelin to death.
Right. They do a very interesting job of avoiding showing any of the arrows flying into the Zeppelin.
Yeah,
and
they
like
just-
very carefully lowering Roger Moore
Batman
down.
camera angles
Yeah.
of this of this Zeppelin.
They just dutching it up.
Yeah. But then it's like they're in jail,
Right.
and the head of the tournament is just like, well, punishment for this is death. And Van Damme's like, hold on.
But wait.
How about if I win, they go free and you can keep your stupid dragon? Which, no, that's bad. That's a dumb thing.
Yeah, that's like...
How about you keep them in jail? I take the dragon. I'm the best. I'm the most awesome guy. Like they're not
about,
his
like-
friends. They totally fucked him over.
You can keep half a dragon.
Yeah.
And
Chop that thing in
get
half.
my friends free.
Yeah. Melt it down.
There's got to be a fucking compromise there.
Yeah.
And also, like Harlow was saying, he doesn't owe them shit.
No. But he thinks he does, and the movie thinks he does. So he
This
does.
is the fatal flaw of Frank Dux is he thinks he owes something to anyone, and he doesn't owe shit.
It's Chris
to anybody.
Ropadope, okay? Just please. You're confusing me when you say Frank.
I think you mean Chris Robotech.
Oh, right.
Chaz Palminteri. What?
Yes, Chris Pat Labor.
I get it.
Oh, okay. Christy Tank.
So anyway, guess what? It's final fight time. It's Van Damme versus the Mongolian, because of course it is.
Yeah.
And they fight a lot inside, and Van Damme gets his ass fucking handed to him.
He's
and-
forgotten how to fight.
Yeah,
And also, this Mongolian is just whipping his shit.
yeah.
There is one point where arguably he does the splits as he's kicking him.
That's
It's the closest you get.
later.
Is it outside?
Yeah, it's
Okay, I
because
thought-
they're inside and they're in the arena, and he kicks Van Damme down like this little rope bridge past the the moat of fire that's
Right.
keeping them in the ring. And then there's kind of like everyone's kind of looking around, and it's like, outside, yeah, outside, let's
Well,
go.
no, they look up to the Grand Vizier sitting on the dais,
Yeah.
and he just kind of does the shrug emoji.
Yeah.
He's like, what the fuck ever, y'all want to fight?
outside,
fight."
let's vent this room, let's go.
It's like, this is the big one, so it's for a fucking golden dragon. So if you guys want to go,
Yes,
just
let's
keep
street
going.
fight it up. So they all go outside, and finally they form a circle big enough for them to fight around in a
Right.
bit.
It's like a mosh pit. but-
Uh-huh. And Van Damme gets his ass handed to him a bit more, and then the dude throws him through a building.
Uh-huh.
He does straw defenestrate him.
Yeah, he throws him through like a bamboo
straw
door.
bamboo net door.
He enters through the gift shop.
Yes. And it's this
We got to talk about how he enters. that.
well, it's this dolly shot across this building as you just hear them fighting behind the wall with James Remar just be like, "Come on, do a thing, don't get hit, stop, punch him back," and then all of a sudden, Van Damme just comes flying out another door.
Yes. It's one of my favorite of those.
Yeah, it's a pretty good dive, and then this is when he kind of stands up and is like, "Oh yeah, fighting, I can fight." So he gets up and
Yeah.
does his.
Well, he has like crazy eyes, anger face.
Yeah.
And then
Yeah, he
like
gets his blood sport
Yeah, he
scream
gets his,
on.
does basically his only split, but it's like involved with a kick.
yeah.
And
It's pretty good. Spin and split kicky.
and then like Mongolian dude's just like, huh,
Yeah.
that was your best? Well, here, try this.
And then he's instantly like, "I forgot how to fight again."
It's weird. I mean, like this is totally like the all right, you're
Yeah.
gonna win and
Don't they-
movie over thing. But
Don't
no.
they take him into another? Like, does he take him into another house and throw him out that window, which is
No, that
two
was
stories up? Okay.
No, but when he flew out of the window of the house they were fighting in, he falls down into like
Okay,
Yeah, like
down
the
a level.
chicken coop
Yeah,
major
but
thing.
then they drag him back up. But yeah,
Duly noted.
and then he gets his ass handed to him again for a while, and then he's just like, "You know what? No, time to end this.
Yeah. There's like 3 different points where it feels like he just did the final like psych
Yeah.
up and win thing.
Yeah." But the weird thing is, like, you're directing this movie, dude, and splits is your thing. Like, how did you not like make that the total like turning point? Like, why did you not just do the splits and punch him in the dick? Like, why was that not your final move?
I don't know. It's a very low ego Van Damme vehicle.
But still, that's strange.
Yeah.
At some point, you want to be like, if I'm going to win, let me win by doing my signature move.
He wins by heart, not by technique.
Does he have a lion heart?
No.
Oh.
But he lands double impacts.
He has a monkey heart.
Yeah. He does kip up at one point and just...
And then gets just like almost kicked down the exact opposite way.
Dude knocks him down.
He gets
kips
punched
up.
down, kips up, and then as soon as he's back up on his feet, just like a punching bag, just bam.
I mean, it
down
almost
again.
looks like a reverse shot of
Yeah.
the kip up. I mean, it's pretty good.
It is, yes.
He
But,
gets
yeah.
his dick knocked in the dirt.
But he's just like, okay, time to wrap this up now, and he, defeats that guy.
He hulks up and punches the shit out of him, and then
He punches the shit out of him. Like, you were like, is his brain going to explode? He's
Right.
He's really punching
got
every
the-
pressure point on his
fist of the
body.
North Star here.
Yeah, and then like the crowd just wanders away.
The guy falls down. Yeah,
Yeah,
they're
but
like,
no one cheers.
"Oh,
They're just like,
No,
oh,
they're
it's
just
over.
like, oh yeah.
Yeah, well, back to our jobs.
it's over.
Gotta
Now
go
we
put
have
some
to go.
doors on hinges again. Yeah.
Now we got to go build another fucking golden
Yeah,
dragon.
no.
See, get this Scottish
Take-
Scottish guy. Maybe he can make us a hinge.
It's gonna nice. It's gonna take
Yeah.
us 18 years to make another golden dragon.
But then it's like the next day, and everyone's free, and they're just like, well, you won, so off with you. And it just kind of morphs
He
back.
gets a necklace. He gets a nice
yeah,
necklace with
he
a
does.
dragon on it and some diamonds.
Yep.
Yeah.
And
So ostensibly, that's worth some money that he can pawn.
it is because it slides back into voiceover as he's old man again, and it's just like, I went back to America and I saved the kids with my necklace, and
He doesn't say the necklace. He just says we did okay.
we did okay.
They're basically like, yeah, we did okay. It's
I'm
like,
pretty sure the necklace had something to do with it.
sure, maybe.
But yeah, he's just like, I went back and I saw the kids.
I saved the children. I got the children off. I got the children off the street because he's got a weird.
It's a weird old man accent. Yeah.
Jean-Claude Van Damme. I got the kids off of the street, and we did okay.
And then I came to this bar and,
And
fought
at
the
the
three
end.
toughs. Now I look wistfully out the window. Yeah,
The
that's
end.
kind of it. And then so journalist lady has written a book called The Quest.
Yes.
and she closes it.
Was it she closing it, or was it?
Well, someone closing it,
Yeah.
but her name was on it.
right.
So
Joan Crawford.
yeah,
Quest.
yes. But then that's it. The movie is over.
And that's the quest. Thanks for stopping by.
Yeah,
Oh, ratings.
we should rate it.
Yep.
No Stargrove.
No, because the music is all like weird Princess Bride-y adventure music.
Yeah, it's Richard Edelman who I think did the Dragonheart score also, because at one point this thing leans so hard into almost hitting the main theme of Dragonheart, where I was like, wait, is this what that music is from? And I'm like, no, that's from Dragonheart. But yeah, it's adventure as fuck throughout this. Like, it is. He told the composer, like, this needs to sound like an adventure movie. Make everything as important as possible.
It's going to be an adventure violence. Ha
Yeah.
ha ha.
Yeah. I'll rate it.
Do it.
Okay, fine. I will give it 3 jocks.
Okay.
I enjoy this film. I think, like I was saying before, I think it's noble that he kind of stepped back and let other people do things. I think it was cool that he was like, Roger Moore's in this movie. I'm going to let Roger Moore shine a little bit here. I think Roger Moore in this movie is pretty cool. The fight scenes are all kind of, they're all a little too brief, and there's never a moment of just like, oh, shit. You know, there's never that just like, ah, man, wow, that fight move was really awesome. It's all good, don't get me wrong, but there's way too many fake slow motion shots, and some of them come like right during some very impactful blow, and it makes them look really fake instead of amplifying it somehow. It's like it has
Yeah.
the reverse effect.
Well, it's jittery, you know?
Yeah.
It's sort of.
But like
I don't
slowing
wanna
it
say
down
blocky,
makes the
yeah.
contact look even less
Yeah.
so somehow. I can't explain it, but
I don't know if that's like Jean-Claude standing over the editor's shoulder and being like, no, make that slow down. It would look cool.
maybe. I don't know. It just seems like the fight choreography was just kind of like, go out there and do something.
It looked good,
Yeah,
I think.
no,
I
it
think
totally
worked
does.
In
it's
regular
just,
motion.
There's just not a moment in it where you're just like, oh man, that's something I hadn't seen before, or that is a badass moment. It's very good. It's very competent. It just none of it rises above anything else. It's all of the fighting is equally as good, I think.
Yes.
Yeah. I feel like this is Van Damme trying to do like this sprawling adventure thing, but at 93 minutes you can't really do that. So there's one character in this who has no business being in this whatsoever. That's the lady. She serves zero purpose whatsoever.
Yeah, and she's even like, there's a hint of a love interest to that side thing,
but only because she's the only lady in the universe.
Yeah, and it's really useless.
Yeah,
I mean, there's a scene about to happen. Like he's like, "I'm going to go for a walk," and he kind of walks over, and there's like, it's a funeral, and it's like that's what they do to thieves.
Yep.
No gravestones, and it's like, haha, bye.
Yeah, it's like, oh,
Yeah.
I'm a thief, but I cannot tell you.
I'm kind of not really a thief, but
something suddenly came
I'm
up.
aligned with thieves,
Yeah.
so I got to go.
Yeah, it's just all the components that are there for something like truly like awesome and epic, but it just wasn't meant to be for whatever reason. And if you read through the trivia of this movie, like there was a lot of production chaos happening. Roger Moore said this movie sucks and is like his least favorite film he's ever done. I've seen a lot of Roger Moore movies that are a hell of a lot worse than this. Hell of a lot worse than this. So,
yeah, I think this movie is too restrained.
Mm-hmm.
Like by far, this I want to see the unhinged Jean-Claude Van Damme version of this movie. Like, where it's just, I mean, this is Bloodsport light, you know, and Bloodsport is fucking awesome. So, to say it's Bloodsport light isn't necessarily an insult. It's just a critique on what it could be, which is fucking awesome.
yeah.
I think it deserves 3 jocks. I really liked the fighting sequences. As I think I've mentioned several times, like, I just really enjoy the friggin' showcase of crazy nations fighting technique versus other nations fighting technique.
Mm-hmm.
It's kind of like the Greatest Warrior or whatever TV show.
Oh yeah,
that was on
Deadliest
for a while.
Warrior?
Deadliest Warrior. Yeah, it's kind of like that. I enjoy stuff like that where you just put two of a fighting system's best fighters against each other and let them go crazy.
Mm-hmm.
And I know this is, obviously choreographed and scripted, but it's fun to watch styles intermingle. And I think it was, aside from the weird slow-mo shots, all of those fights were filmed pretty well. There's some really amazing athleticism on display, especially with the capoeira dude and the Korean guy, I think.
Yeah.
Whichever guy was doing the animal fighting styles.
Oh, that was the Chinese dude.
Was that the Chinese dude?
Kung
Okay.
Fu. Yeah.
There was a Korean guy who was just doing kung fu regular stuff, but
Okay.
the Chinese guy was the
I-
multi-animal fighter.
So, the guy there's a guy throughout the fight sequences who is announcing each country, and he basically says, "Fire!" for whatever country it is. You just can't understand the dude.
It's like, sometimes they raise the flag.
Yeah,
and
so-
you,
and
you luck
you
out.
can-
You're like,
oh,
a context clue. Fantastic.
But it's otherwise it's impossible to tell what country they're from. But
Well, not everybody. I mean, Scottish guy is
Right,
obviously
right.
Scottish guy.
Yeah,
by,
he's
by
wearing
his
the traditional
announcement,
Scottish-
by his announcement,
Yeah.
it's impossible to tell what country they're from. Garbage romantic side plot. Loved the proto-Nazi Zeppelin shenanigans. Roger Moore he's just Roger Moore. I mean, he's really smooth, and
He's cool.
He's cool. Yeah, he's a scumbag, but he's really cool about it.
He's a cool scumbag.
and I like that a lot. So, I've talked too much. 3 jocks. Good job. Good job.
Good job.
Not bad. Not bad. I think I'm only going to give it 2 jocks. I like the fighting stuff, and I really like, especially like Capoeira dude and Kung Fu guy, like you said.
That's my new buddy cop series. Capoeira guy and Kung Fu dude.
Yeah, I would watch the shit out of that every week. Yeah, but like everything that wraps this movie together is kind of terrible, and not necessarily the people that are in it. Like, I mean, I think they're all doing serviceable jobs, but their stories are dumb, and I just, if you're just gonna make a movie that's 90% about doing blood sport, just make it 100% about doing blood sport and skip all that other shit. Like, I would have rather had 15 or 20 more minutes of training with Muay Thai or anything, like watching more fights than watching the stupid orphan old man rapper thing. Like there was just no point at the end of the day for all that, other than saying, "Here, look what time period we're in," because you obviously won't tell when we go to these third world countries that kind of almost look the same today. That's the only thing I feel like they were doing is like trying to set, other than putting a Indiana Jones title card of like, this is 1920.
They could have cut that whole 20-minute opening sequence to like a 5 or 10-minute chase sequence that ends up in the same place with him jumping off of the boat.
Yeah, he could have just been a guy like doing petty crimes to get by in New York who happened to be athletic and doing parkour before it was a thing. But yeah, I mean, the whole like orphan thing was just like, come on, like, get on with it.
It's pretty rough when the cops raid the orphan dungeon too, because they just drive a car through the door and just start bulldozing the place and shooting it up.
Well, that's not the cops. That's the mafia.
Yeah.
You're okay.
They don't
But
put
it's still
animals.
brutal. Like
Yeah.
the mafia drives into an ad hoc orphanage, just fucking Tommy guns blazing. Like, nah, I'm George Babyface Nelson. Yeah.
Oh, you damn kids need to get out of here. See?
I want my money. Yeah. I'm going to
George
shoot
Nelson.
children.
Yeah. It's your baby face that reminds me of the nickname I don't like.
Right.
Meh.
I'm George Nelson.
Anyway, yeah, just Two Jocks. It's pretty good, but like, I probably would have rated it higher if it was just more focused. Like,
I feel you.
get to the shit that obviously you wanted to make an entire movie about anyway. Just
I wanted to see,
or make it more random adventures. Like, and then it's just
I think
quickly gets through the.
he was
Kumite
trying
thing.
to do. He was trying to do something that wasn't the exact same thing that he had been doing, and was trying to make it larger in scope, and just it got away from him. And it's just like I'll use what I've got.
yeah.
Because I honestly think that wraparound stuff would have been bigger. Obviously, he was. There's no way he looked at that and was like, "That's enough."
Yeah.
Obviously, there needed to be some more significance to him being an old man. Because who cares?
Yeah, there's two bookends, and the first bookend is very large, and the second bookend is very small.
Yeah, the second is just like, and then I came back, and I'm old. Good night, everybody. Thank you for watching my movie. I mean, there's really nothing to it. So
Right. So here's how you fix this movie. This is how you make it a 4 or 5 Jocks movie, I think. You cut that opening sequence down to 5-minute chase where he ends up in the same place.
Okay.
And we need to add 15 minutes of montage.
like him actually fighting and getting better.
Him
'Cause we
fighting
never
and
got
getting
that.
he needs to do more fighting at the Muay Thai Island, and then instead of when Moxie Crime Fighter leaves, right?
Yeah, right.
He needs to come back to that camp before they get to the Lost City, and then they need to spend like 5 or 10 minutes. So I said 15, so 7.5 minutes of each Muay Thai and Moxie Crime Fighter teaching him the fine arts of regular pugilism, because he's not much of a punchy fighter.
Yeah.
And that would actually explain the end of the movie a little bit better, where because he punches the Mongolian to death, and
Yeah.
that would actually help, like,
Yeah.
boost that up a little bit, because he's doing basically boxing punches.
See, I wish that his fight with James Remar had lasted longer. Not like they live length, but
Right.
longer to where like James Remar wouldn't cave in that easily. To have some fucking pride and just be not like instantly go, "Oh, you're using your feet. Well, I'm out." For him to just be like, "No way, man. My fists are going to fucking take care of you." Just have a bit more, like, I'm awesome. I'm the heavyweight champion of the world. I'm not going down that easy. But he went down that easy. So,
Why are you kicking me, Marcus?
yeah. A noble effort, Van Damme. Nice try.
It was not bad. I mean, it doesn't suck,
Yeah.
which is
Some of your other movies have.
kind of what I expected.
Yeah. So,
All right, well, let's take a break, shall we?
Yes. Jade, we were making Oh Brother references the entire fucking movie.
we?
Yeah.
Oh, like while we were watching it?
Woolsworth.
Yeah.
I'm the goddamn paterfamilias.
Mm-hmm. So
Entertain the fans.
I've got 2 movies and a possible TV thing to talk about.
I have a lot of movies.
Try to mention Glow, the gorgeous ladies of
That's the one I was meant.
Why are you talking like that? Why? I have 6 movies.
What?
I have 6 movies. 6? Yep. What? 6? Yes.
That's too many movies.
No. It's just right.
Goddamn, that's a lot of movies. We ain't got time for that junk.
Yeah, we do.
Right.
I ain't got shit except for possible TV stuff that was aforementioned. I failed America by forgetting to watch Independence Day on Independence Day.
It's okay. Guess what? The entirety of Twitter did it for you.
Did they?
Yes.
I'm not caught up on
Frame by frame.
Really?
Yes.
Maybe if you didn't follow 8,000 people, it would be not as bad for you.
No, when you do, you can watch the whole movie in real time. Scroll by as all the frames merge together.
I did, however, today read the speech and shed a tear for America.
Yeah.
Because that is
We had a good run.
literally the best speech in the history of the world.
Yes. It is. Yes, in the history of the world.
I don't know about all that.
Well, you're wrong.
Okay.
Name a better speech.
Patton.
No. No, because that's just America. This is the world.
Yeah.
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 Might have been a world war, but it wasn't a world war like this is a world war. Fighting all of America, fighting aliens. Do you hear my authoritative desk taps?
I do. I hear them
about all
loud and clear.
I don't know about all that.
So loud.
It means I need to cut my nails.
That's
They're
probably
fucking
what it is.
talons.
Would you say the BJ has large talons?
Yes.
What the fuck's else I watch? Oh yeah, that. What the fuck else? Something else. Don't play the fucking trailer, you piece of shit.
You piece of shit.
At least you're not making goddamn songs or whatever. What? Are you on the trailer too? Oh, cool. Yeah, play that too. Yeah, just go ahead.
Hi, I'm the entirety of the internet, and this is autoplay every fucking thing.
So,
Boing. Boing. So?
2, 3. 3 of my movies have already been discussed, so my thoughts are brief.
Okay.
So, why don't I do those 3, and then you can do your 2, then I'll finish up, and then you guys can glow.
Okay, we.
Turn off the lights.
We'll be
and I'll
the
glow.
last dragons. We'll talk about power of the glow. Glow.
Right.
All right. Shit's still going, huh? All right.
We got a trailer.
Yeah.
The trailer's pumping.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
All right. Let's do this, I guess.
Okay.
Let's get it on.
Oh, you booped it.
All right, welcome back.
Hey, BMFcast. Second half. Half number 2 out of 2 halves that we normally do.
Yeah,
This is the part where we talk about other movies.
It'll be chock full of half.
It'll be chuck full of half.
It's a lot of half coming up in this half.
So half it up, Chuck.
Okay, I got a bunch of movies to talk about. I'm gonna talk about half of the movies I have to talk about.
Hey.
Okay.
Huh?
That's synchronicity.
Because these first batch we've already talked about it on the show.
All right.
So I watched Passengers.
Oh,
Yeah.
pass a euro.
Were you on a bus?
Nope.
Or?
No, the movie Passengers.
Oh,
Science
okay.
fiction.
All right,
Epic.
I've heard of it.
Yeah.
There's fucking in that, isn't there? Or is that the other
There's
one?
PG-13 fucking in
Yeah,
it.
Okay.
space fucking.
Yeah.
Spucking, as we like to call it.
So that movie has a moral dilemma that there's literally no way to overcome. A choice is made that is reprehensible to a point where there is no possible way the movie can salvage itself, and it kind of doesn't, even though it stupidly tries. And then you're like, no, that's not that. No. It kind of comes up with a way to solve it, but it's not genuine. It's unfair. So I just kind of felt like that movie broke itself, and there was no way for it to recover. But there are things about that movie I like. I think overall I found it entertaining. I just feel like structure-wise it's broken. Like you come up with something so horrendous that there's no way out of it, and that kind of breaks the story. And like you were saying, the person they paid to be in the cast, who's only in it for literally 4 seconds before the credits roll, who doesn't say a word, you're like, the fuck? Why did that happen? Why did you... He spent more time in the makeup chair than he did in the motion picture. That's ridiculous. Yeah. So, I don't know. We got to laugh at that. Then I watched Fist Fight.
Okay.
Fist Fight has some laughs in it, but that's kind of a very one-note movie. It's a very loud movie. It's just people shouting a lot.
Yep.
There's some genuinely funny stuff in that, but it's just kind of like, it's one of those movies where you just feel like it's never going to elevate itself to a great comedy. It's going to be one of those movies that has some improv-y bits that you'll probably laugh at because 2 seconds later they all laughed at it and that. But for a modern comedy, it's fine. I enjoyed it. I had some laughs.
Sure.
Had some good times watching it.
Yeah. Have some laughs.
Yeah. Then I watched the Lego Batman movie. Holy shit. That's a fucking great movie. They need to chill out on the reference machine. They need to slow it down a bit because I could not keep up with all the referencing that movie was doing. There's a lot of fucking references in that. And Jesus. I mean, it's like the opening sequence of that film is a great Batman movie. Like, a lot of it is a great Batman movie. I mean, obviously it has to get a little jokey and go off the beaten path of what you would think a Batman movie is because it's more of a kid's movie and it's a Lego movie and it's animated. But overall, that's a pretty great Batman movie. It has an arc and emotion and good stuff, and I mean, it's really strong. I didn't like it as much as the Lego movie,
right?
Only because I think the Lego movie had so much more diversity in it because of just by the nature of what it is. But for what they were attempting to do with this, it's pretty great. The one thing that I find really confusing about it, and maybe it's a joke that I just don't get, or maybe there was some weird contract thing, but so Ray Fiends is in this as Alfred. There's a villain character in this that he is famous for playing in the movies, but he doesn't do the voice of that character.
That is correct.
Why?
I don't know. I honestly don't know what that joke is.
Like, halfway through that, I was like, wait, hold on.
I kind of said the same thing. I was like,
did they already cast the first guy? And then...
I don't know. Or maybe they were just like, it'll be too confusing.
Is he under contract? You can never appear as this character ever?
It's possible, but I mean, they're both Warner Brothers.
I guess. I don't know.
I don't know.
I guess, that's not a knock against that movie. It's just something silly. But, the one thing I kind of felt a little disappointed about is this very much felt like the Lego Dimensions movie in that we secured all the rights for these things for the video game, and since we have them, let's also put them in this, or vice versa. I mean, I don't know how it worked, but it just seemed there was kind of a South Park Imagination Land vibe to this, where it was all the intellectual properties are now here, in Lego form interacting with Batman, and
Right.
it was mostly Batman, and I do appreciate that roll call of villains are all legitimate villains from the Batman universe for the most part.
Yeah, well, I mean, that was... why can I not think of the guy? There was one...
Condiments King.
Condiment King. Yes, the Condiment King is sort of a legit villain. Like, you were talking about deep references.
Yeah.
That's actually a joke to a Batman animated
Yes.
episode
Yeah.
where somebody was basically possessing random people to become super villains that had no business being super villains.
Yeah.
And yeah, so that's like a super deep reference.
Yeah. It was good. And I love that they're kind of like, at the end of that roll call are just kind of like, look it up. They're all legit.
Mm-hmm.
These are all real villains. And the weird off the wall Doctor Who references throughout that movie are strange too.
Yeah.
Just and the British death robots. Ask your nerd friends about them.
Mm-hmm.
Dumb. So yeah, I really enjoyed it, and that is a visually amazing movie. Like the look of that movie is amazing.
Mm-hmm.
I'm so impressed.
Yeah, like I said, my only knock on it is it's not the actual
Yes.
regular Lego movie.
Absolutely, that's kind of it. I just love that every once in a while they chintz on the sound effects and just have the actors do it themselves for no reason. Just every once in a while, just beep bop boop. Or whenever they're shooting, they're all just pew pew pew. There's so many good jokes in it. So many good jokes.
Mm-hmm.
I highly recommend that.
All
Anyway,
right.
why don't you tell us about some movies?
Okay, some new stuff.
Uh-huh.
Things you might be talking about in the future when you catch up. Condiment King. So first one I'm going to talk about is Kong Skull Island.
Right. Yes.
That was a movie that I think I'm surprised I didn't go see it in the theater. It was one of those times where it was like it's a bad time to try to go see this.
Yeah.
But I mean, that had BMFcast kind of written all over it. I mean, not necessarily for BMFcast Prime, but like the shit that we like.
Yeah. The stuff we venture out to see in
our
the theater
extracurricular
together.
activities
Yes.
outside of proper bad movies.
Yes.
I'll say this about it. Like, I didn't know it was quite the period piece that it is.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I knew it. I think I'd heard that it wasn't like directly taking place like now, but I didn't know really like when it was supposed to be taking place or anything like that. So that was kind of an interesting surprise to. Now,
Well, how far back is it? Or is that a spoiler?
not really. It's like just as Vietnam is ending.
Oh, okay. That's interesting.
So, and it's kind of strange because it kind of makes me wonder if they acknowledge Peter Jackson / original King Kong, like that happened and he came back. Like it's kind of unclear to me what their ultimate goal is in setting it when they did, because I'm not entirely sure. I'll say like.
Do you think they said it then because that's when the 70s remake of King Kong was?
I don't know.
Okay.
I honestly don't. I don't know. I feel like there's a reason for it.
Okay.
Like some time jump or something is going to happen at some point. Like there's a reason because they have plans, obviously, for this.
Yes.
The monster movie stuff. Like this movie's weird. Like when it first opened up, it felt like someone went to Zack Snyder Watchmen version of like we got to explain how the 60s work and the 70s work kind of thing, because like it was really kind of annoying me how Watchmen-esque like shove off Watchmen-esque the time passage was in this. But then like when the movie kind of stops setting, like the setup for this movie is just not great.
Okay.
I didn't enjoy like meeting the characters, and all of it was kind of annoying me the way it was being shot. But I don't want to give anything away, but like imagine them kind of going, like imagine them getting to Jurassic Park and you're like, well, this is probably going to take a while before we see some shit happen. But this is kind of like, hey, welcome to Jurassic. Oh, fuck.
Okay.
Yeah. Like this movie wastes zero fucking time the second they arrive to the island before shit starts going south really fast.
All right.
And from that moment on, yeah, it's exactly what we want to fucking see in a movie.
Okay.
Like, I instantly forgot all of the dumb setup and all of like, I'm like, if you're gonna ape from somebody, don't make it Zack Snyder. But like that's how much it felt like. Just like it was cool when you saw it in Watchmen. It was like this is new and different, and you know, a quick passage of time and crazy things that have happened over history. In this movie, I was like, oh, please just stop all of this. But man, like I said, the second that like shit gets real, this movie is a blast from like that moment on to the end.
Well, that's good to
Like
hear.
100% cannot recommend it enough.
All right.
Like it's every bit of like boring, like I felt like other than like the weird like bug attacks and things in Peter Jackson's King Kong, I felt like most of it was like all set to the walking pace of a Lord of the Rings movie. Like the whole thing was just like, we're walking here now, and then let's walk over here now, and it's just a lot of it was like very lazily done, like just slow.
Yeah.
And like this movie is the antithesis of that. And even like the Godzilla movie, which was like, hey, there's cool Godzilla shit happening, but we're not going to show it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like this movie is all that thrown right out the window. So yeah, I don't know. It's obviously it's turn off your brain food, kind of movie. It's just watch it and, giant monkey and other crazy giant animals fighting and stuff.
That sounds pretty good.
Yeah. And crazy military guys that are like, we're going to kill it no matter what. And yeah, the second, I mean, just as the trailers would have you believe, the second John C. Reilly shows up, it is better every second he is on screen.
Great. That is what I need.
Like, great character. Great actor, great character. Like,
Good.
throughout, like, everything you were like, man, he's going to be the good thing. He is the good thing in that movie.
Okay.
Because, like, I don't know, like, I'm sorry, but Loki is Loki. Like, like, whenever you see Tom Hiddleston, you're like, it's fucking Loki.
Yeah.
I'm trying to give the dude, like, a chance. But every time it shows up, it's just like, hey, Loki. Like,
Right.
It's like, I'm not buying you as someone else yet because you're not showing me anything particularly different yet.
Gotcha.
I mean, he's just kind of boring Indiana Jones knockoff dude. Like, I don't know, like, I'm British SAS. I know how to do jungle shit. Like, okay. Yeah. I mean, like, the most of the primary cast is just kind of like, all right, yeah, you're there.
Okay.
Like,
Yeah.
bad things might happen to you. Who knows? So I don't know, but yeah, it's a fun little thrill ride.
Cool.
That's my kind of rambling take on Kong Skull Island. It is bizarre when the end of the movie happens and you realize just how many Marvel or future Marvel people there are in this one movie. Like, there's a way I put on Twitter that you could sum up the end of this movie. It's pretty accurate.
Okay.
Anyway, other movie I want to talk about is this year 2017's Life, a very generic ass title for a movie that kind of got completely forgotten at the box office.
Came and went. Like,
Yeah.
I remember, like, oh, another
I was
one
like,
of those
oh,
space movies.
Yeah,
And-
like say what you will about. I mean, I know everyone loves Arrival, and there's Passengers, and there's Life. It seems like since Gravity became both a critical and box office smash, there's been this sudden rush to make realistic sci-fi stuff. Like, we can have fun with sci-fi, but you got to mostly obey the laws of physics, or Neil deGrasse Tyson will chastise you on Twitter.
Yes, he will.
Mostly
so-
he'll just spoil the movie.
Sure. So, like, I'm fine with that because I sci-fi is my, like, you could be mediocre, but you're going to get an edge if you make it sci-fi. That's just where I'm coming from, and I'm telling you that right now.
Okay.
Life, to me, is by far the least of this new crop.
Oh.
It's not bad. It's just, all right. That's, huh.
Okay.
Like, the second I kind of realized, like, where this movie was going, I was like, oh. Like,
That's never a good reaction.
like, be better than that. Don't do that. Oh, you're doing that. Okay. I mean, I went with it, but it was just kind of like, I was expecting more. I'm not saying you're bad. I'm saying I'm disappointed.
Right.
That's what the movie you felt like you needed to tell is all. Again, it's not bad. It's just, it feels more formulaic. Like, I felt like a lot of these other ones were like, we got something different we're going to do. And this was just like, shit that's usually in sci-fi movies. Well, we've got better effects now. Like,
All right.
just every 90s style sci-fi Event Horizon, like, if you've seen a fucking sci-fi movie, you know where this is going to go at a certain point.
Okay.
It's cool leading up to that when you're like, when I wasn't sure, because that's the thing is, like, this was a movie I knew literally nothing about. I didn't even know Ryan Reynolds was in this. I'd only seen recognized Jake Gyllenhaal on the poster. Like, didn't even know, like, Ryan Reynolds shows up. I was like, oh, hey, it's Ryan Reynolds.
Oh.
Hey. But yeah, it's just, Like I like the pieces of it. I just don't like the sum of its parts. By the time it's also didn't dislike it. It's just like, oh, that you are going exactly where 1,000 sci-fi movies have gone before. You know, kind of thing.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I'd still. I mean, like I said, if you're like me, you know, you're still will probably watch most sci-fi things. So sure, watch it. It's not bad by any stretch of the imagination. It's just be better. I feel like the bar has been risen, and you're hitting it. You know.
I do remember watching Passengers and thinking, man, save these sets. Let someone else use these sets. These sets are amazing.
Yeah, they are. It's great, and that's what I'm saying. Like this shit is awesome that we're getting these like intricate like. I mean, something like Passengers, we just look at it now, it's like, yeah, that was a movie I saw. It was all right. I don't really remember. But like, you put that shit out in the 60s, like, it was 2001. Like, Jesus, how?
Yeah.
This is amazing.
Yeah.
Like,
Totally.
I just think about, like, how times have changed like that. Like, we still don't have that shit for real.
No.
But now it's just like, oh, yeah, there's a food dispenser, and you talk to this thing, and you play basketball in DDR.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
It's like, sure, of course. Why would we not have that?
Material science.
Yeah. Is that it?
For now.
Anything else to say about life
In
in general?
Life's okay.
Okay. All right.
Life
Yeah.
is bigger.
When it's all over, you'll be like,
That was life.
that was life.
C'est la vie.
Uh-huh. All right, well, I got a couple more movies. These are new to the show. We haven't talked about these.
Oh.
They're nude shows?
Nude shows.
All right.
All nude.
Nice.
Come see me at the airport.
I will.
So, first one I want to talk about is The Founder, which is the Michael Keaton History of McDonald's movie.
Mm-hmm.
So,
Roy G. Biv, or whatever that guy's name was.
Yes. Exactly. So,
Ray Kroc, right?
Yes. So I was watching this. I knew nothing about this movie. All I knew is that Michael Keaton was in it, and everyone says he's phenomenal in it. So that was the drive. I was like, okay, let's watch this. That is true. He is both in it and amazing in it. Michael Keaton is just awesome, and I'm always thrilled, especially now that he's getting roles again, that he's being used properly. This thing starts, and you're about 30 minutes into it, and you're like, this is a fucking commercial for the greatness that is McDonald's. And that... I am not one to get angry about product placement, but it seems like a paid commercial. And I'm like, what the shit is this? But I did not know the history of the McDonald's Corporation at all.
Okay.
And then it takes a turn, and I'm like, oh, okay, this is not paid for by McDonald's because this makes them look like assholes. They are the worst. Everything about their history is the worst. They are the worst company. How dare they? So it gets pretty fascinating at that point. Like,
okay.
The Michael Keaton character goes through some changes. But it's one of those movies. It's an acting movie. You know, you're watching it for the performances and the time period, just how they're doing this kind of like throughout the 30s, 40s, 50s, and 60s stuff. It's great. I mean, it's a nice little movie.
Okay.
And really redeems itself after I was sitting there worried, like, what is this? This corporate training film bullshit. But no, it comes around in a big way. So then on the 4th of July, I watched Patriots Day, which is the second Peter Berg, Marky Mark movie from 2016 about a real life tragic event. This one being the Boston Marathon bombing.
Okay.
Whoa, does Marky Mark save someone from the marathon bombing?
Marky Mark is everywhere in that movie. He's an amalgam of
He's in the yard?
He's like 8 different cops merged into one. He is all over the place in this movie. And that is the movie's only fault, in that it's kind of disrespectful to like the 8 cops that he's been merged into so that Marky Mark could be in almost every scene leading the way on everything. And it's like, no, he's not just roaming the city and gets a tip and then now he's over here. But like I said about Deepwater Horizon, this something about Peter Berg in 2016 making real life tragedy movies is hitting me, like flicking me in the heart in the exact right place to where I'm like, shit, man, this is devastating me. Like, there's been all this outcry about both these movies, like, you're capitalizing on blah, blah, blah. These movies seem very respectful and are telling a story of something that actually happened and then paying tribute to the people involved. It's...
I will never forget the time that the pegs attacked us from space.
Battleship didn't happen.
What?
That's not no.
That wasn't one of the movies you're talking about?
No.
When Rihanna led us to victory over the space pegs?
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember that.
When they drifted the battleship? No, that's
That wasn't
That
real?
was back
no,
in...
that was fake. That did
back
not,
in, what, 2012, 2013, when the pegs first attacked?
I thought it
There was no
yeah.
no pegging happened. Whatever. Patriots Day is a great film. Just a great film. It's not as good as Deepwater Horizon, I think, only because Deepwater Horizon has an amazing level of technical skill going on to make all of the stuff that happens in that happen, like work, seem legit. But there's a series of events in this movie that are late in the investigation process, like during the when they've found the suspects and are chasing them. There's a good 20 to 25 minute sequence that is just fucking amazing. And J.K. Simmons is in part of that, which is awesome. I mean, it is an unbelievable sequence of filmmaking. I don't know when Peter Berg all of a sudden decided to be true grit filmmaker and do some really good work, but he's doing it.
Okay.
So, and look, I'm as cynical as fuck.
All
I
right,
mean,
here-
I am, if I even catch a whiff of or any kind of like disingenuous, fake emotional bullshit, I'll call it out. Both those movies didn't do that.
Let me ask you this. And
Okay.
it'll just kind of set me down the right path.
All right, sir.
What did you think of United 93?
Okay, I watched that when it came out.
Mm-hmm.
I thought that movie was completely devastating. I would not watch that again ever in my life.
Because of how it made you feel?
Yeah.
Or, oh, okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Like, because of there was a period of time when it came out that it had seemed like Hollywood had done some sort of handshake deal of like, we're not going to make movies about this.
Right.
And then all of a sudden they just started making movies about it. It's a better movie than World Trade Center. World Trade Center seems like this weird like theme park version of what happened. It's not that. I'm just exaggerating a bit, but
No, like a Universal Studios account of it. Like,
yeah,
oh no,
kind of.
here comes the thing.
Yeah, it's. I can't say if I felt if United 93 was capitalizing.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I mean,
I just think that was a story to tell based on the information they had at the time of what happened to these people, and I think that story was worth telling. I could see how now people might look at it and think it's propaganda and think it's kind of,
right. I mean, that's the thing is like I wrestle with is how far do you judge a movie based on its tie to an actual historical event?
I think
historical.
I think it just if you're just telling a story within some sort of tragedy, it all depends.
Sure.
But
yeah, because I mean, like, where does The Longest Day rank in?
Yeah.
Versus like, where it's just a movie wrapped around the thing.
Yeah, but I mean, like both these Peter Berg movies to me are basically like, here's a thing that happened. Let's be as let's be as respectful as we can to the events as they happen. These movies aren't fun.
Mm-hmm.
They're not like, I mean, there's an action scene in Patriots Day that, like I was talking about, was amazing and is technically you're looking at it and go, man, how are they doing this? The effects and everything here is amazing, but like horrific things are happening in it. But just from a filmmaking point of view, it's incredible. So I just think there's merit in it.
Like I said, I mean, United 93 to me is like it's a weird one because I just simply, as much as I try, I just don't like Paul Greengrass's style. I just
That's
don't.
fine.
I've tried. I want to. It's just like, dude, it's called a tripod
Yeah.
or Steadicam. Look it up. We invented them for a reason.
Yeah, that
But then it's like, you couple that with like, I don't know how I feel about that story. Like, whatever.
No,
yeah.
I don't know how I feel about that story. I have certain notions of what happened and what didn't, and that story is hard to be told because a lot of it is frankly classified.
Right. Exactly.
So,
yeah. That's why I said I just generally avoid these movies if at all possible because they open up that like kind of like when I watch biopics. Like when I say I don't like a movie like Selma, I'm not saying I don't appreciate the events that happened.
No,
There's
yeah.
a difference, and like I just feel like when you watch a biopic or anything based, like supposedly based completely on accuracy of of a historical nature, it's like, what do you do? Like if I say I don't like the movie, I feel like I'm saying oh, I don't care about that event. That's not what I'm saying. To me, a movie has to have a point more than just being a docudrama. To me,
I think both these Peter Berg movies have something to them where you can look at it and go,
it's a movie.
yeah, there's an important story being told and some amazing filmmaking going on. So, lastly, since it's new to Blu-ray, I tried to watch the 2017 remake of Chips,
Okay.
starring Dax Shepard, written and directed by Dax Shepard. I got 30 minutes into that, and I said, nope, life's too short.
Okay.
I'm not watching another second of Chips. So, that, as I was saying on Twitter last night, that movie is aggressively average. Like, it's one of those movies that never is doing anything more than it should or anything less than it should. It's not highbrow, it's not lowbrow. It is just happening.
It's just brow.
It's just like, we're cops and there's a thing happening and that's it. I mean,
Is it just sort of like an hour and a half episode of Chips, just kind of blah, or
no, it's not anything remotely like that.
it's just a cops on motorcycles? It's
Chips
not
episodes would have like a kind of a major plot, but along the way there would just be random ass Chips things happening. Like, suddenly there's a construction explosion and they have to go rescue some people, and then they go and do something. This is not that. This is like one guy's in the FBI and he's undercover to find the evil cops who are doing this big heist, and it's just like, it's, you did too much. This could have been a lot simpler. And I think they were going for like a 21 Jump Street kind of vibe kind of thing, but it's not. I was waiting for a joke. I was waiting to laugh or groan, and it was never presented with either of those things. So it was just Dax Shepard with his shirt off a lot because he's the director.
All right, Star, I'm going to need you to take your shirt off. Okay, you're the boss.
Yeah, I mean, it's on my radar to watch. I don't know. Just
Yeah, I
It
mean,
sounds like something I will never have a need to watch.
yeah, it's one of those things. Like, I don't know. Like, I watched this other movie the other day and made it all the way through it and was just like, that is fucking garbage. That is one of the worst things ever. But like, I'm more offended by nothing than I am Trainwreck. The act, not the movie. I haven't seen actual Trainwreck. So, anyway, that's my long list of movies.
okay. Well, I guess BJ and I have a show to talk about. A modern day show, because you can consume it all at once. Because it's on Netflix.
Yeah, it is.
Thank you, Netflix, for letting me binge this entire series in one sitting, basically.
That's pretty much what I did. I broke for about an hour to get food and came back and watched the rest of it. It's Glow. We're going to talk about Glow.
The Gorgeous Ladies of Wrestling.
Sure.
This is not the...
It's not really called that anywhere. I mean, that's what it's based on, but...
Is it just called Glow? I thought it
Yeah.
had the subtitle.
No, that was the other show. The actual show was called Glow, Gorgeous Ladies of Wrestling, I believe. I don't know. This is just called Glow everywhere I've ever seen it. Genji Cohen's
Yes, it
Glow.
is just called Glow. Genji Cohen just produced this, right?
I don't know.
I think
Created.
she wrote and directed an episode.
Okay.
But I'm pretty sure in the credits it just says that she created this, which is... or executive produced, rather. Genji Cohen, who you'll all know from, if you're up on your TVs, you'll know from
Weeds and Oranges
Weeds
and New Black.
Yeah, I was trying to go in reverse chronological order, but it didn't work. My brain stopped working. I could only think of Weeds. But yeah, where to start? The basic premise, if you don't understand, is that back in the mid to late 80s, I think, if I remember correctly.
Yeah, I think it was like 83, 86.
Okay,
around,
so
something like that.
mid-ish 80s. A guy decided that he wanted to produce an entirely women's wrestling show, and so had almost an open casting call. Not quite. It might have been an invite-only casting call. Anyway, had a casting call for a bunch of ladies, and turned it into a wrestling show that featured like ladies with gimmicks as big and boisterous as the men's gimmicks were at the time, and it was, you know, instead of the ladies sort of being a sideshow, it was fully 100% focused on them, and ran until 1993, I think. I want to say 92 or 93 was the last time that...
Well, the show itself ran from 86 to 89. I just looked it up. But I don't know. Apparently it's come back. It's one of those things, like, it's not well documented. Like,
No.
I think this was, like,
It was a weird syndication
local
thing.
TV, like,
yeah.
then beamed out, maybe, if you're lucky.
Yeah.
Kind of thing. Like, it's basically a...
But then it was like sold
Yeah.
in packages, so like some cities were ahead of other cities, and
Yeah, I thought I remembered like the last time it was broadcast was 92 or 93, something like
Yeah.
that. But that's what happened in actual real life, and
The dramatized version.
the dramatized version, a small portion of that happens. Basically, it tells the story of the genesis of Glow, which is casting call through pilot episode.
Yeah. Yeah, your basics are, you got Alison Brie is, like, pretty much the main character in it.
Yes.
And then she's got a best friend who's Betty Gilpin, and like she is actually formerly has been on a soap opera, so
Right.
she's kind of a known quantity, but gave it up to go have a family. You know, basically like got written off the show by choice, and it's just like, oh, I'm retired, I'm a mother now, I've got a baby to take care of, and so she's kind of always like Alison Brie's always kind of been in her shadow because of her success in Hollywood, where she's just like going to casting calls and just not getting anything.
Alison Brie's character is a struggling, serious actress in uppercase and quotes.
Yeah.
And
Basically,
she's
like, you know, in LA at the time when it was like, your role will be that of, you know, Steve Guttenberg's secretary. You know?
Right.
Literally quite in one instance, I believe.
nice.
Yeah, so, I mean, it's just, she's just kind of like got this jealousy thing going on. And things ensue, but, you know, like eventually they get thrust into like basically both trying out for this show.
Yeah.
While they're not particularly fond of each other at a certain point.
Right.
But yeah, I mean, after you kind of have the open casting call, it kind of boils the plot, the cast down to like a manageable number of characters to kind of keep track of.
It's like a dozen.
Yeah, to like kind of get to know a little bit the side characters and whatnot. So besides all the ladies, which they're all varying degrees of different quirky personalities there. You've got Mark Maron is playing like the director slash like producer of this whole thing, and he's kind of got this like cult film following thing going on where he's made like all these.
Yeah, he's a like really weird,
kind of like Russ Meyer, like trashy horror mixed things. They're like,
Okay.
but also thinks he's making a statement.
right?
sure.
Yeah, yeah. So I mean, it's like part sleazeball horror, but then part like, no, I was really trying to say something about the
Yeah.
male dominated society here by putting these women in peril and blah blah. Like all this kind of bullshit. So, and I mean, I'll just go ahead and say it. Like, Mark Maron's fucking great in this, and I know a lot of people like don't like Mark Maron for whatever various reasons.
Yeah.
He's been around for anyone that's been around for as long as he has will have haters for whatever reason.
I've never really been terribly excited by anything Mark Maron's done.
Sure.
And I don't want to, like, this is a very women-forward show. And there's some great performances out of every single woman in the cast. Like, they're great. Mark Maron is insane. Just... I don't know how you stand out against, like, the strength of the personalities in the rest of the cast. Like, I would be if I was playing this role, and I'm, obviously not an actor, but like, I don't know how you don't get lost in the rest of the personalities. But Mark Maron is just right out there in front and is insanely good.
Yeah, I'm not trying to say like he's better than everybody else. It's just like if you ever have like strong words against him for whatever thing he's ever done, watch him in this and tell me he's not fucking great.
It's
yeah,
it's fucking brilliant. I love it. There's some things that I, didn't necessarily like with his character, I don't know. I guess I just like the acting so much that I wanted his character to be better. And
Oh
his
yeah, I'm
character's
not saying
just-
he's a good guy.
No,
in the
he's-
movie, like he's a terrible
right
human. But
well, that's what I'm saying. Like
Yeah.
I wanted his character to be better because I liked the portrayal so much. I wanted to like the character as well. But the character is a shithead. He's full of himself and a drunk, and has all the problems that a full of himself drunk director of mild repute has.
But yeah, I mean, there's just the I don't know. The cast is great. I mean, it's just like all of their different backgrounds and the little tastes of like their outside life outside of doing this. They full on like guerrilla style make this. They're like, no, we're renting out this shitty hotel or the shitty motel right next to the studio, and like you're all just gonna come stay here, and like we're gonna train / get ready to shoot this in like a matter of like 2 weeks, like basically with nobody with any wrestling experience.
I think they were going like 6 weeks, something
Maybe something like that. But
It
I mean,
was, it was
it's
like real
like,
tight.
like most of them are just actresses, and they're like, we're gonna stick you in this hotel. So I mean, it's an excuse to like put them all together in a confined space and have them interact. And I mean, I don't even necessarily want to get into all the different types of personalities you have there, but there's a myriad of interesting characters in the cast. Besides just the characters they come up with to play on screen, which are great in and of themselves. So to me, it works if like you like the witty, dramedy stylings of Weeds and Orange is the New Black, but like it strikes an even deeper chord if you have any love for the art of wrestling.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, it's just they don't like heavy lean into it. It's like, you don't have to be like a full on fucking smart to understand everything. It's just like if you have a basic appreciation for, yes, wrestling may be fake in so much that it's pre-planned. However, there is a lot of execution that takes a lot of practice and all of that. So like if you can understand that and not just be like a wrestling's so real or wrestling's 100% fake, if you could be that like nice middle where it's like, look, I understand it's all staged, however, fake is not the right word,
Yeah, it does a good job of, for one, like laying out what wrestling is and what basically how wrestling matches go and how wrestling works in general. It does a really good job of laying that out for people who have never really experienced it. So you don't need any experience going into it to understand, because they don't really hold your hand, but as part of these girls learning, you learn with them if you didn't know. Right. And if you are in the know, if you are a wrestling fan, like they do a really good job of not fucking it up, which is good. Like, because it's easy to, from the perspective, like if they didn't have actual wrestling people consulting on this movie,
sure,
you'd be able to tell as a wrestling fan, and it would be easy to fuck up, but they absolutely did have real wrestlers involved in this, and they didn't fuck it up. I think Joey Ryan, if you know who that is in it, and
Johnny Mundo.
Johnny Mundo is in it, which is like
John Morrison.
Yeah, keeps showing up in our BMFcast sphere of influence.
He was in Wrestle Madness.
Yeah, he was.
BMFcast own Johnny Mundo.
Yes.
But yeah, like there is a moment, I think it's in episode 5 or 6, that was just so glorious to me, where there's
Glorious,
yes. Debbie, the character that Betty Gilpin plays, the one who's like the soap opera actress who, for the longest time, is like, I'm so above all this, like I don't really need to learn. I'm just going to get by on the fact that I'm a star. Like, gets dragged to a real, actual wrestling match, and just like it clicks, and she understands what wrestling's all about, and it's so fucking good. Like the moment, like just the sheer joy of like, I get this is Unix. I know this. Like it's just like it's so fucking good. And like from that moment on, like it was just like I felt like the show kind of like I felt like the show was like being like it was all kind of dark to begin with. Like it was like, oh, this is all like very drama heavy. Like not not a lot of fun to be had, even though there's like fun shit that should be happening. But like that moment on, I felt like the show kind of turned a little bit. Like it was like, no, we're gonna have some fun with this too. Like it's not all just oh, this is woe is me, this terrible thing happened, and oh, I did this and that's shitty. And I mean, not to say that it was all like up to that point.
The guy who plays the producer in Glow is like the reincarnation, and I know he's not dead yet, but A reincarnation of Rob Lowe as Chris Traeger, but if he was a spoiled rich kid on cocaine. I don't know where I've seen that guy before, or where I might know him, or if he's just new out of the blue. But I think he is also brilliant.
Yeah, he's mostly like a show up in the background kind of guy for a lot of things. He's on Veronica,
he's pretty
he was
great.
on Veronica Mars, which is great.
Well, that's never seen it. But heavy recommend from me. Glow is really good. I would binge again. A+.
I plan to binge soon.
Yeah? On
Yeah,
what?
On Glow.
Good choice.
Thank you.
Wow, did we cover all the movies? Are
Yeah.
we
All
done
the
here?
things?
Yeah, we're done.
Should I tell them what else a good choice would be?
You should.
It would be to email us at bmf@bmfcast.com or give us a phone call on the Garfield phone, 9105-JOCKS-BMF, or 910-556-9263. Give us a ringy-dingy on that and leave a voicey, maily-waily. Just do this.
Someone's just gonna go like, "Wah! It's a maily waily."
I just do that kind of shit to see Chuck's face. His reaction is
Voicey.
maily-waily. But yeah,
Oh, that means someone else calls in and leaves your voicemail for you, right?
No, it means it's really big. But yeah, do a couple of those things. Do both of those things. Get in contact with us.
Yeah.
We give some stuff away for good correspondence.
Yes, we do.
So you might want to get some good shit.
Yeah, you might.
I don't know. You might. It's good shit. You
Yeah.
might want it. And we might send it to you if you have a real good correspondence. But also go to the website, bmfcast.com. That's where all the episodes get posted there. There's all our socials and the RSS feed on the right-hand side. You can subscribe via that. Or you can subscribe on iTunes. And if you really like what we're doing and you think that we should be paid for it, then you can go to Patreon and patreon.com/BMFcast, and you can give us money for it. And we will, in return, give you even more content, which will maybe make you want to give us even more money. And then you'll get more. The more money you give us, basically, the more content you get. It's kind of a pay
never
for play
ends.
sort of thing.
It's
Yeah.
like a quid pro quo.
Yes.
It's like a
You give us a quid, we
snake.
professionally quo you some content.
Oh, we'll quo you so hard.
What?
But yeah, Patreon, it helps keep the lights on and stuff. So if it's like a tip jar sort of thing, recurring tip jar.
From a major corporation.
Right. So
Cool.
It's a money laundering scheme.
no, it's not. It is
No?
not that at all.
Oh, shit. Okay, sorry.
It can be.
Wait, is that why you're donating to our Patreon? Are you laundering money through?
No. Yes, I'm laundering $1.
You're,
Gotta clean them quarters.
that adds up to $12 over the year, my friend.
Chuck? It's called Bitcoin.
What?
We got to get in on that Bitcoin thing, you guys.
No, we don't.
Yeah, we totally do.
can't.
It's going up.
No, it's a bad idea.
Going up.
It's totally going up. Now's the time to get in.
Until it entirely disappears.
It doesn't exist.
Right. That's what it theoretically exists now. Eventually, it will not even that.
Okay, cool.
So don't do it.
All right, then.
Keep your money in gold under your bed
Cool.
and diamonds.
Well, let's get
Because
out
they're
of here.
forever.
Yeah.
Let's get out of here, shall we?
Yeah, we shall.
I'm Harlow.
For Mackie, I'm BJ,
And for BJ, I'm Chuck.
and for all of us, this is BMFcast out.
And for a BJ, I Chuck.
You'll do a lot for BJ.
Ew.
Bye, motherfuckers.
Well, there's an ending.
Well, no, I figured that. No,
No.
my shit was I was like waiting for dead air so you can cut.
Oh, no. I can cut even when there's not.
Fine,
dead
put
air.
it where
Just
put it
merge
wherever you
things
like. Chuck.
together.
Put it wherever you like.
Okay.
Yeah. Hey, Knives Chow.
What?
Knives Chow.
Knives Chow is in.
Oh.
She's not in glow enough for my liking. 'Cause she is Dorbs.
Also, really weird. Link. One of the lady wrestlers is Kate Nash, who's better known as a singer, and she did this song in "Fired Up" on the bus. Remember, like, why you got to be such a dickhead?
Yes.
That weird little song. That was her.
Oh.
So really weird connection.
That's a weird connection.
Brodus Clay is in Glow.
Nice.
Who else? There's another one more wrestler.
Alex Riley.
Oh yeah, Alex Riley's in it. Yep.
Yeah, we did this
There's
the other day.
one more wrestler.
Oh, one more.
Yeah.
But the
Oh,
the two brothers were wrestlers. I can't remember who they were.
What's his Carlito?
Oh, that's right. Does he spit apples on people?
No. He shows people how to wrestle Carlito's way.
I get it.
Did you hear that joke?
That
one was for Jens.
This is a joke.
Yeah,
Oh,
it's a yoke for Jens.
It's a yoke for Jens.
That's right, Jens.
I get it. I need it.
Oh. I'm old. Everything hurts.
Hurts, everything's old.
Light, everybody.